Now, I've been very, very consistent on this topic. I come from the libertarian perspective. There is a difference. Unfortunately, it gets conflated a lot, but there is a difference between someone having the ability and a right to do it, which means nobody has the right to aggress upon them, preventing them from doing something. There's a difference between that and others agreeing. So folks are obviously free to disagree with you. They can even advocate against something. They just can't, obviously physically, let's say, aggress upon you. And when it comes to transgenderism, that's been my position as well, that I'm personally against it. And I will say that God did not make the mistakes that so many people believe that they have. If you're an adult, however, you're free to do what you want. What that boils down to is that you should leave the children out of, not you should, that's more or less a demand. Now, the medical community, as well as others, have utilized kids as a vehicle to spread this garbage. And it's gotten so socially acceptable that you have children, youngsters that have got both top and bottom surgeries. You have this sort of chemical castrations. And I believe that we're going to be feeling the sort of ramifications of that as more of a culture for a very long time. But studies are starting to come out. You find out that obviously, kids are very impressionable. J.K. Rowling, we're going to look at this right here. It's talking about this this study and this tweet. And obviously, she's been talking about this subject matter for a while. Over the last years, Hillary Clinton has conducted a robust review of the medical evidence for transitioning children that's ever been conducted, mere hours after it was released to the public. Committed ideologues doubling down. There are people who've deemed opponents far right for wanting to know there are proper checks and balances in place before autistic, gay, and abused kids groups are overrepresented at gender clinics, are sterilized, and such. Now, this study seems to find that, apparently it took a medical study, that maybe this isn't the best idea. Maybe doing this to children isn't the best idea. Maybe it's a phase. Maybe they'll grow out of whatever it is. Maybe it's dysmorphia or whatever they call it, which is how you kind of used to treat it as more of a mental issue. Now, I think the more serious conversation is at what point do these, be it the medical community and those that have co-signed this nonsense, sit there and think about it. I've done videos. I'm repeating myself, but I've done videos on this. Look, think about that. It is now socially acceptable. There are people with you that will argue up and down, but it's so socially acceptable now that folks believe that minors can get top and bottom. This is irreversible damage. Top and bottom surgery, irreversible damage. We've had the luxury of speaking with Chloe Colon, and it's unfortunate, her situation where she is a detransitioner. We're talking irreversible. You can't, there's no going back from a lot of what happens. And I know with the hormones, people think that even that stuff is reversible. Come to find, it's not as reversible as others think. Maybe we should not be doing that to youngsters, but it's now socially acceptable. Now think about that. How crazy things are that leave the children out of it. Now, the good news is this. With the studies, there are those that may have been a little more, and I might think you're crazy for it, but they've been a little more lenient on this subject. Okay. Maybe they've been either indifferent. Maybe they've even advocated the opposite. But now they're starting to see that, okay, that was the wrong position. And people are free to change. People should change. If you are presented with new evidence, come to a realization you should change. But maybe y'all disagree with me, but I think it's taking far too long on this subject. This should be a non-negotiable issue. This should not be something that is a right or a left or a Republican or a Democrat, this should not be that sort of subject. Fortunately, it is. Unfortunately, it is. Thanks for watching. Right now, the Rippaverse is in the middle of our latest campaign, Yaira #1, which was written by the Saskas. Head over to Rippaverse.com, pre-order, and check out our first live-action trailer and the latest Rippaverse Studios production, Y'all Be Easy.